Good morning, my friends. Sorry I'm a minute late or so. Had a little bit of a techie. I apologise. It's Monday morning. There's always techies on a Monday morning. They live for a Monday morning. How are you all doing?
Got my dark shades on like I can't see you, but you know I got my eyes on you.
Sounds like NSG on this one, off their brand new album, Roots. Gonna get into this one, let this one run through, and then let you know exactly what we got going on the show today. It's gonna be a good one. Trust me.
See, everything I do for the gang. Don't call me bro, you're not family. Them boy father, I am granddad. Live by the G code, that's loyalty. Yeah, them boy they rust, that's why they mad up. Me I just love them boy they ghosted. Said it's not that. You just can't fuck with me. See me, I'm persistent, boss not assistant. So you never can young boy me. Young boy never broke again. I fucked that, never spoke again. I promise I never reoffend, but sometimes break promises.
It's kinda tight, this is the key one. 079 me, I don't do fun. I just want you for one night. Every MB, I got it from. I don't know when the money call, I gotta go. Tracksuit fitting for the shows. Dark shades on, gotta keep it on the low.
See, everything I do for the gang. Don't call me bro, you're not family. Them boy father, I am granddad.
That's a man like Will. How you doing this morning, my friend? It's been a minute. Hope lockdown has been treating you nicely.
Me, I just love them boy they common sense, you know I've run. Girl wanna hold me for ransom. Girl wanna throw me sometimes from. Getting big pound in my fresh accent. Foreign girl talking in a foreign accent. Girlie kinda wish she had me back then. Nah, bitch, nah, that's past tense.
Cause I'm myself, cause I'm fire as hell. You say you've been trapping, but I really cannot tell. You know I'm getting money, she could tell by my smell. Sticking like Chanel, but I got the Cali as well.
Sounds of NSG on this one.
My name. You could dress
leading single off their new album. The Red Eyes are back.
Don't call me bro, you're not family. Them boy father, I am granddad. Live by the G code, that's loyalty. Yeah, them boy they rust, that's why they mad up. Me I just love them boy they mad. See, everything I do for the gang. Don't call me bro, you're not family. Them boy father, I am granddad. Live by the G code, that's loyalty. Yeah, them boy they rust, that's why they mad up. Me I just love them boy they banter.
All right then. Sounds of NSG on that one. How are we doing this morning? You know what? I'm going to throw a couple of glass smashes out there. And a couple of bombs as well. How are we doing this morning, my friends? It's Brekky in the Cave, moving into what is, I believe, week 14 of this current COVID scenario. It does look like things are slowly starting to improve, however. It's looking like we're going to be going back to normal very soon. We are also streaming live on Trickstar Radio as well. We've managed to sort that little kink in the system out, so we're now able to be live on both, which is really good. So out to all my Trickstar Radio listeners locked in as well. So, on the way today, we have got 3 fantastic guests, and I cannot wait to get into the conversation with any of them, to be honest with you. It's going to be a great one. We've got Locus Sound joining us. We're also going to be joined by Garage Shed. I've been informed that Locus Sound aren't, in fact, based in Manchester anymore. They are now based in Bristol, so I'm going to be talking to them about what's going on in dubstep. We're going to be talking about the label, how it came together, everything good like that. We're also going to be talking about Garage Shed. Now, there's going to be 3 people on the phone. We're going to be joined by Bitrate Gavin from 4, and we're going to be joined by Aki as well. So it's going to be a really good 4-way conversation looking into garage in the UK right about now. It's re-arisal, shall we say? Re-arrival? I don't know the right way to describe it. But yeah, we're going to be looking at that, looking at the formation of the label, all of their points of interest in garage and why they've come together to form this project, which is doing really, really well. We're seeing it everywhere. The releases are popping as well, so we're going to be looking at that. And then finally, we're going to be joined by ELLIE Sabine Singh, my literal oldest friend in the world. We've known known each other since we were literally less than a day old, which is quite mad. But yeah, we're going to be talking through that. We're going to be looking through her work in telly, her work on MTV, and just what she's been up to, man. We're also going to be looking at 2020 being this unexpected year that no one expected. Everyone kind of had plans. Everyone kind of had a rough idea of what they wanted to do, and then suddenly it's all been thrown into a completely different area. So we're going to be talking to her about how that's affected TV, how that's affected the work she's currently doing, and yeah, it should be interesting to see moving forward. As well as that, we've got some absolute bangers in the bag, I've got to say. We've got some new Eskimo, we've got some new Red Light, there's some new L Train and Alexa Harley, we've got that new Unknown T and DEE tune we're going to be running as well, some new Charlie Trees, which dropped a couple of weeks ago, some new Lotus as well, really cool Scottish trap artist I found a couple of weeks ago that I'm going to be getting into in just a second. For the time being though, this one, how we're going to kick off with this one again. You know what, I'm feeling good, I'm feeling myself this morning, that's what it is. Had a very busy weekend, got loads of stuff done, obviously watched all the football, we're going to be talking about that in just a few minutes. We do have some news to talk about as well. Some sort of general channel updates and things we've got going on as well. Out to everyone who caught the stream of the GRM 10 album over the weekend as well. That was really fun to do, and it ended up getting featured on GRM Daily. So obviously it's a website I use quite often for news, so to be featured in the news section from here in the cave was very, very pleasing. So I want to say thank you to everyone who has been supporting that video. And yeah, we're going to try and do it more and more. Me and Danny are in the process of working out a system in which we can literally do more of those live streams and more of those specific type of videos where we kind of like hone in on a sort of more collaborative approach and see what we can do with it, which should be fun to do. So yeah, there's loads of updates on the way. I'm going to let you know more about what's going on in just a second. Good morning, 3000 Bass crew. How are we doing? Good to see you. I know there's some bangers on the way this week over on the 3000.co.uk website, so do go and check that out if you haven't before. You can see all the little projects we're associated with on the right hand side. We've got the 3000 logo, we've got the Juno logo, we've got the South Point logo, we've got the Cub Reacts logo, we've got the Underground logo, we've got the Lengerland logo, we've got the Trickstar logo as well. And yeah, here we go. As you can see in the bottom right corner as well, we're going to be jumping into this one next. A special dub that I had done by Vision Alexander. This one goes by the name of Right Now, one of the biggest tunes in Jamaica, and this is my personal cut of it. So you're getting a little preview of that right here on the show right about now. As I said before, please do make sure you are hitting that subscribe button, so you can see down below there. And of course, please do make sure you are subscribing to the page, liking the page. If you're locked in, let us know where you're locked in from in the live chat. It'd be good to hear from you. We like to make this chat a very sociable place in the morning. Obviously, these are unsociable times, and the motto of this show is we like to keep things sociable through this wonderful thing we call the internet. If you haven't already, please do make sure you are checking out the podcast up in the top right-hand corner. You can check it out via Spotify. You can also check it out via Apple Music and, of course, SoundCloud as well. If you want to catch me on any of the different social media platforms as well, you can catch me on Instagram, Facebook, and, of course, Twitter and SoundCloud as well. All of those will be at Cub KXVU, as you can see in the top right-hand corner. And a quick word from our sponsors as well, Sharp and Digital. They've been integral in making this channel what it is. They've been helping me out with SEO, and as you can see, they are the alternative to hiring social media managers. Really cool project. Make sure you go check them out. They are the official sponsor of Brekky In The Cave. But there we go. As I said before, hit that subscribe button, and let's get into today's show.
You don't know say Vision for the musical mission representing for Kovo Sound. You don't know big up the UK family representing the big sound out of Brighton. Dub plate King South Point boss man Kovo. You don't know. Yeah man. You think England have bad dub plate round here, sir? Brighton. Hear me now. Kovo Sound, them sounding so good right now. But they sound in a Brighton town. Kovo Sound sounding good right now. If a boy test them, get burned down, burned down. Burned down, burned down, burned down. Any boy this them get burned down. Burned down, burned down, burned down. Kovo Indigo Sativa, hope say you reach ya. But on a heal up, me see you no cure enough asthma. Cover send it come, make sure it vacuum seal. Them dog and nose are good for smell out every reefer. Box the bus it I go kick like FIFA. Me I beg you rub it down with little ammonia. God forgive us for a sin and all a karma. Boy discover them I go end up dead now. Right now, right now.
Out to Vision Alexander on this one. Out to the crew this morning. 440 gang in the building. How you doing, my friends?
Some sound boy
Gonna have you on the show very soon, and I can't wait.
Cover sound, sounding so good right now. Baddest sound in a Brighton town. Cover sound sounding good right now. If a boy this them get bun down, bun down. Bun down, bun down, bun down. Any sound this them get bun down. Bun down, bun down, bun down. When we kill them, we a kill them nice and slow. Cover tell me shout to come no more and I might not grow. So we take we time and kill the sound them real slow. Take we time and kill the sound them real slow. You can link around a Brighton for the high grade marijuana 24/7. You get the 7 for the 7. If you're regular, you might just get 11. One thing me tell you, cover pump it full of pebble. 100 pound a greatest reach with foot right now. But the sound in a Brighton town. Cover sounding so good right now. Any sound this them get gone down, bun down. Bun down, bun down, bun down. Some sound boy I get bun down. Bun down, bun down, bun down. Cover sound. Yeah.
There we go. Sounds of Vision Alexander on that one. My personal dub plate of right now. One of the biggest tunes in Jamaica, literally right now, which is a really cool thing to have. So thank you to Vision Alexander for that. I love me a dub. I've got to say, I love having dubs. Back in the day, I used to literally try and stack as many as possible. I used to get involved in as many clashes as I possibly could. So I love having that one. That's one of my favourite things that I've been given over this period of lockdown. So out to the Locked In crew this morning. Please make sure you are hitting like on the video as well. If you are locked in, let us know where you're locked in from. Let's get some conversation going. We've got some news regarding lockdown and a return to somewhat normality. The McDonald's breakfast menu is back in stores, in selected stores from this week. So it should be very interesting to have a look through this. I've missed me a McMuffin, has to be said, but it's the hash browns, bro. It's the hash browns. I could safely say I think McDonald's might do the best readily available hash browns out of anywhere in the world, for me anyway. I mean, you can go and get some posh ones or whatever, but to me, that in the little paper, I used to do this all the time when I was a bit younger. I used to go, whenever I used to go out and I knew I'd be out for a long time, I used to go out. If a club would close at 4 and McDonald's would open at 5, the one on the way home from me, I would tend to just mull around, try and keep conversation with people for about an hour or so, and then slowly start to walk up, go in, get the and go and get a breakfast on my way home. That's what I used to do on a Friday or a Saturday night out, depending on which night out it was, or maybe it was both. I don't know. I was a lot younger, but that used to be the plan. That used to be the turn up, and now it's back. Good, which is good news. Which is very good news. Due to government restrictions following the coronavirus lockdown, McDonald's has had to drastically change its UK operations. The dine-in restaurant. The dine-in restaurant. Okay, fair enough. That's what we're calling McDonald's now? Fair enough. If we're missing it that much, that it's just gone up in praise. The dine-in restaurant. Fantastic stuff. But yeah, it's the public facilities obviously haven't been in use. Public restrooms remain closed, and the menu has been significantly reduced. In the news, which may excite many, however, McDonald's have announced they will start resuming their breakfast menu at 42 of their restaurants. I guarantee not a single one is in Brighton. Guarantee there's not one in Brighton, because I really want it now. I'm thinking about it. Do you ever get this with certain foods when you just start thinking about it? It's all you want. I had it with what did I have it with the other? I had it with squirty, like squirty whipped cream. I had it with one of those. I literally just went to the shop and bought a thing of whipped cream just so I could have some whipped cream. I don't know why. Very weird indeed. I think I was watching Friday Night Dinner, and that's when I saw it, because the guy always obviously takes it out of the fridge and then just goes like that, which is a very accurate sound representation of what it actually sounds like, thinking about it. But yeah, back to this news. Diners will once be able to order hash browns, McMuffins and pancakes. In an email to customers, Paul Pomeroy, the UK CEO of McDonald's, has said, as our main menu, we will have a limited menu at breakfast, but we'll keep the classics, the hash browns, the McMuffins and the pancakes all return. Unfortunately, whilst adhering to our social distancing guidelines, we're unable to serve porridge, bagels or our breakfast wrap. This is because we have fewer people in the kitchen. Fair enough. I'm not mad at that. I mean, I occasionally have one of the breakfast wraps. It's very rarely the highlight, however. But yeah, moving forward, relaxed lockdown measures have also meant non-essential retail stores can now be allowed back to open their doors to customers, providing that they are able to maintain social distancing measures in store. I mean, can we see which stores are actually open? It's seemingly quite difficult, but there we go. Apparently 51 stores are now doing breakfast, and they haven't given me a list of anywhere I can find which stores they are. So that's annoying, a bit frustrating. However, have a little look at your local McDonald's. To be honest, I'm still not going out. I think I've only left my house once since lockdown that wasn't for shopping, and that was to go to the Black Lives Matter protest. So yeah, very interesting. To be honest, I'm kind of looking forward to getting back to normal now. I've been very much in my zone with this lockdown scenario, and I've been very much trying to just crack on as normal without leaving the house, which has been obviously productive. It's meant this channel has obviously been able to get a fair bit of attention, and we've managed to grow it. But I am kind of looking forward to seeing my friends. I'm looking forward to going out and having a pint, and yeah, just in general meeting people. But I want to be safe. I want to make sure I'm doing things the right way around. So moving forward, then let's get into another banger. This one coming to us from Unknown T and DEE. I couldn't not play this morning. Absolute banger of a tune. This one, an absolute belter of a tune, going by the name of Double Trouble. This one was released on the GRM 10 album, which did drop this weekend. It's I've seen Amazon Music promoting it as well, so it's quite a big deal. Some amazing names on there. So we're going to get into this one now. Don't go anywhere. Keep it locked. We're live on Cubcam TV. It's Brekky In The Cave.
Listen, look. The governor's got my tugs in bang up, 32 to a 22 bang up. Before trial was Jace at the gate trying to separate me and my mate, that's mad up. Jail asked me and my boys to pattern, the place got ran up. Poke it drip, I don't take no bad up. Box if I beat up your bruise, don't gang up. I'm in the jailhouse fresh on the wing. They tried and won't quit the arrest, trying to check if I filled up my bum with cling. Police hurt us cause they hate our skin. Dickheads free up my dogs in bin. I love how it feels when you bust that case and you step out the court with a grin. But did he bottle my local ting? Police hate me so they treat man badly. They had a nigga locked in a HMP, no P, just a shit grey tracky. Don't approach me, come my bros keep back me. My head's fucked up and my hair's all nappy. Swing my black fist on the wing, don't mad me. I'm still mashing that bread in the jail cause there's rice and dubs, no dappy. They couldn't cuff me so the officer's angry. Why they forcing the evs on my friend trying to comprehend me and my dog no shaggy. I'm running free flow on my bro from Hackney. Trap me and my Killy and Bappy. Dodgy DL so the cops can't trap me. You can never chat shit on my name, what a shame now nobody asks me. Feds know I'm a star so the cops try trap me. Locked up on Remand, I'm anti. Had to spend 22 hours on bang up or get a bail bond, that's plan B. Lord knows I got too much love for the family. Pagan thoughts on my block can't rock with me. Too many foolish chits like a shanty. Trust no bitch so the pigs can't grab me. I'm in the jailhouse fresh on the wing. They tried and won't quit the arrest, trying to check if I filled up my bum with cling. Police hurt us cause they hate our skin. Dickheads free up my dogs in bin. I love how it feels when you bust that case and you step out the court with a grin. But did he bottle my local ting? I'm in the jailhouse fresh on the wing. They tried and won't quit the arrest, trying to check if I filled up my bum with cling. Police hurt us cause they hate our skin. Dickheads free up my dogs in bin.
Sounds of Unknown T and DEE on this one.
Court with a grin. But did he bottle my local ting?
Proper vibrant tune.
Niggas on the wing, free my dogs in the bin. I still speak to my dog on the mobile phone every week on a regular ting. Pax is getting them in, P's getting it in. And the screws and govs don't like him, so the cell gets a regular spin. 1 minute they're shipping him out, next minute they're shipping him in. Where you at? Growing his bed, I heard my man's growing his gym. Every day pump up, every day gym. Next time when his dad sees him, he's gonna make his dad look thin. Trust me. It's not R&B when I say that none of my man them sing. Them man sing, we backing vocals and ting. Just know that man are local and ting. Just know that the goons are local and ting. Man are ready to call your bluff. Carry on thinking you're rough.
I'm in the jailhouse fresh on the wing. They tried and won't quit the arrest, trying to check if I filled up my bum with cling. Police hurt us cause they hate our skin. Dickheads free up my dogs in bin. I love how it feels when you bust that case and you step out the court with a grin. But did he bottle my local ting? I'm in the jailhouse fresh on the wing. They tried and won't quit the arrest, trying to check if I filled up my bum with cling. Police hurt us cause they hate our skin. Dickheads free up my dogs in bin. I love how it feels when you bust that case and you step out the court with a grin. But did he bottle my local ting?
Alright then. How are we doing this morning, my friends? It is Brekky In The Cave. If you are locked in via the podcast, please make sure you do go and head over to the YouTube channel and subscribe. If you are locked in via the YouTube, make sure you head over to the podcast and subscribe. You can check it out via both places. We put a lot of time into making sure this show is as accessible as possible. And now, of course, we are back on Trickstar Radio as well, streaming live here from the cave until we can sort of head back to some sort of level of normality in a couple of months. You know what? As I said before, just trying to be safe with things. I don't want to rush back into a scenario where where I might be breaking a few rules here and now. I want to stay very safe. I don't want to be hypocritical about this thing. I've been very kind of open and public about my opinions toward things, so I do want to make sure that I'm adhering to my own rules. You know, that's what we're trying to do at the moment. So let's have a look at some news that we've got popping in and around the UK right about now. I'm seeing something here about drive-through concerts. Now, I said on the show quite recently, I've never really understood the point of doing a drive-through concert. Like, I don't really get the concept. Like, what do? Do you drive in and sit in your car and watch music through closed windows? Like, how does it work? However, I'm going to look here, and it does seem like we've got some big names involved. The Streets and Dizzy Rascal are both lined up for UK driving concerts. 12 sites around England and Scotland will host events. So there we go. I didn't even know there was places you could do this, but there we go. The lineups and locations for a series of drive-in events in the UK in this summer have been revealed. Artists set to play include The Streets, Dizzy Rascal, Sigala, Cream Classical Ibiza, Gary Newman, and Reggae Roast versus Gentleman's Dub Club. So it's a very kind of mixed bag of artists when we look at this. The event's now taking place from mid-July to September. Utilita Live, I believe it is from the drive-in, is being organised by Live Nation. 12 cities and towns across England and Scotland will host events. We've got Birmingham, Bolton, Bristol, Cheltenham, Edinburgh, Leeds, Lincoln, Liverpool, London, Milton Keynes, Newmarket, and Teesside. So there we go. That's again. No Manchester on there. No. Well, Bristol's on there. No Brighton on there. That's annoying. Interesting, though. I say it's annoying. I don't know if I'd go. I don't know if I see a point in going to a drive-in concert. Like, I don't see how that's really any different to sort of live streaming if you're having to sit in your car with the people. I mean, first of all, I don't drive, so I'm probably not going to be allowed in anyway. But here we go. Around 300 cars will be admitted per show, with each having a state-of-the-art sound system, lighting rig, LED screens, and adhering to social distancing guidelines. Hang on, they're going to put sound systems in your car? What? That's a madness. Tickets for vehicles containing 2 to 7 people will be sold, with a party size is not allowed to exceed the number of seats inside the vehicle. Each vehicle will have its own designated area for people to stand or bring in folding chairs to sit on. Live Nation promoter Peter Taylor says the outdoor concert series was created as a way to reimagine live music experience during a time of social distancing. By allowing fans to enjoy concerts in the safest way possible, each event will comply with all official government guidelines in order to protect fans, artists, crews, and staff. So tickets go on sale at 10 a.m. from June the 22nd, so from today, and you can read the FAQs online. But there we go. Utilita is the name of the company doing this. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest with you. I'm a little bit funny, because it looks like more than anything else, you don't even get your own car. Like, you get allocated a car, which means, I mean, are they cleaning down every car in between every single one? I don't know. It just sounds a little bit... You know what it sounds like? It sounds like someone's had an idea and they've gone, oh, this would be a great idea. How are we going to make it happen? And then once they've explored the idea, they've then realised all the complications of doing something like this, and they've just carried on with it and carried on with it and carried on with it until there isn't actually much of the original idea still floating around. That's what it seems like to me, anyway, in the way this has been put together. But, you know, I'm not going to shoot something down before it actually starts. I'm going to say, look, you know what? It might work, it might work, it might not. The lineup looks pretty good. Obviously, I quite like the idea of going to see it, a Gentleman's Dub Club versus Reggae Roast. That sounds quite fun to watch from a car. But I don't know if I could enjoy a Streets or Dizzy Rascal concert kind of sat down in a car. I mean, they're saying you can sit on fold out plastic chairs, but I think that surely that defeats the point of what it is. I don't know. It just seems very mishmash to me in the way it's been put together. Anyway, let's crack on then, shall we? We've still got some banging tunes to play. We've got 3 guests today, which of course means we've got 3 sets of tunes to play as well. There's loads of exclusives in the bag, which I am really looking forward to getting into, to be honest with you. And yeah, overall, it's looking like a good day, man. It's looking like a good day indeed. Let us know how you're feeling out there. Of course, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already by clicking this lovely little button that you can see down below. There you go. And as well as that, of course, yeah, just make sure you're liking the video, man. The more people that like the video, the bigger the reach gets, the more the stream hits people, and that's of course the point of this. You know, we're trying to grow the channel. We hit 450 subscribers over the weekend, which is obviously the highest we've ever had, but it's the biggest growth we've ever had. We went up 50 subs in I think 6.5 days, which I was so super happy with. So thank you to everyone who's subscribing to the channel. Of course, what we're trying to do more than anything else is to turn this into a legitimate musical platform. So it means people can come on here, get interviewed, and it'd be part of their press run. It'd be a good place to kind of come and get interviewed and kind of find out more about them. Eventually looking into doing sort of premieres down the line, doing more sort of specific interviews. Obviously, we've got the Cave Talk podcast running now as well, which is going to be pretty much us I'll say us, me, interviewing names that aren't able to make it in for breakfast, for a more sit-down, standalone sort of approach to the podcasting side of things. And yeah, what we're just trying to do as much as possible. Obviously, we had Between the Posts drop over the weekend as well, which is our football podcast, myself and Duke Sky alongside Pabs, which is always good fun. And yeah, just in general, it's been quite fun to watch the growth of the channel take place. So there we go. Let's get into a banger then before we get into our first interview of the day. This one coming to us from the sounds of L Train and Alexa Harley. Really cool tune, this one. Something a little bit different, something a little bit more melodic, a little bit more soulful, considering what we've been playing this morning so far. But yeah, this one dropped on Friday, and of course, as L Train is a Brighton local, I'm going to be supporting this one very, very heavily indeed. Right then, friends, don't go anywhere. Keep it locked. We're about to jump onto the line with Locus Sound. Really looking forward to this conversation. I'm a big fan of the stuff they've been releasing. I've seen a lot of music go out there recently through Juno, so I'm looking forward to seeing what else is going to be on the table moving forward. So yeah, keep it locked. Don't go anywhere. We're live on Cubcam TV, on Trickstar Radio as well. This is Brekky In The Cave, and we will see you in a second. Oh yes.
This night I feel I don't know what's coming. Did I invite the romance to end? Now you're saying I've really enjoyed getting to know you. It's been wonderful, but I'm thinking that right now I need a friend. Is it crazy to be wondering when things went wrong? But we had it all. No problem being physical or intellectual. And I can't be putting your needs ahead of all my misplaced feelings. If I really feel it, better just to leave it, 'cause I don't need another friend that's been a lover. What a waste to fade away. I would have been down for you. I don't need another friend that's been a lover. What a waste to fade away. I would have been down for you. Sometimes you tell lies to those who will listen, and I'm too shy to define what I deserve. What I deserve. When they say I really enjoy being around you, but keep it casual, and I've opened up myself to getting hurt. I keep getting hurt. I swear lately everybody runs away from love like it's dangerous. I know it can be hard to trust, but don't be scared of us. You don't owe me an apology, I promise. No hard feelings. Better off believing letting go is healing, 'cause I don't need another friend that's been a lover. What a waste to fade away. I would have been down for you. I don't need another friend that's been a lover. What a waste to fade away. I would have been down for you. I see it now. Think I figured it out. There is no room for doubt. Why play around? I realize no point in wasting time. I'm okay with goodbye. Got another friend in my life. I don't need another. I don't need no friend that's been a lover. Friend that's been my lover. Ways to fade away. I would have been down for you. I don't need another. I don't need no friend that's been a lover. Friend that's been my lover. Ways to fade away. I would have been down for you. I don't need another. I don't need no friend that's been a lover. Friend that's
All right then, my friends, we are back inside the building. It's Brekky In The Cave. We are live here on Cubcam TV and on Trickstar Radio as well. How are we doing this morning? We are joined by our first guest of the day. We have someone very special representing Locus Sound in the building. Let us know who you are, sir.
My name's Archie. Yeah, been running Locus Sound since 2017.
Wow. There we go. Good start then. This is a good one to kick off the this morning's proceedings with. Obviously, I'm a big fan of the label. I've been kind of keeping tabs on what's been popping with releases through the sort of work I'm doing at Juno Download, and it's been really, really cool to see just how strong the label has become, especially over the last sort of year, I'd say. The consistency in releases has been really good to watch, and it was one that I thought, you know what, let's get you on the show, let's have a conversation about it. So let's go back to the sort of beginning then. You said 2017 was when you took over the label. Was that when the label was formed?
So beforehand, I was running events in Manchester for about a year, fairly successfully, but not really. I mean, the scene up there is a little bit sort of smaller than down in Bristol. But yeah, I was running it with my mate Emil, who's from Bradford. And about 2017 October time, I was like, right, I want to sort of switch up things. And he sort of left the duo, so to speak. And then yeah, started our first release with Ivo, who I believe you've had on South Point.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah, that was October 2017, and yeah, just went from there, really.
Nice, man. So I mean, when you kind of in regards to like releasing it, how did you find that transition from doing events to doing more specifically releases? Like, what was the biggest difference in the process you found?
Well, I was at BIM Manchester, so the music college there. I was doing a production course, but then sort of swiftly realised that not that production wasn't for me, but that so I had a lot of, like, I was a good mate of mine, so I had mates around me producing really good stuff, and I obviously was into the sound, so I was like, fuck it, let's put it out. And yeah, I mean, it's obviously a lot different, but I just really enjoy the sort of A&R side of things, finding new people, putting out their music. And yeah, it's been, I mean, pretty easy. I got a bit of help from the music industry people within BIM, sorting me out with things like recording contracts and whatnot. And yeah, I mean, it's been a learning process. I certainly overpaid on mastering, artwork, things like that towards the start of it. But yeah. It's been good since then. Just
another one I wanted to ask then. Obviously, we've asked like what the biggest like differences were. What were the biggest kind of similarities between setting up events and putting music out there? Because obviously they're both like they're both things that play a big part in the music industry. Realistically, the two biggest parts of the music industry are live events and the releasing of music. So there's going to be some similarities between the two. What would you say they are?
Yeah, well, definitely with the sort of online promotion. So like just first up, like, I'm sure it's changed a lot sort of within the sort of last 20 years, but everything's done online, social media and stuff like that. So you've got to have quite a big presence. Obviously, sort of let the music do the talking, but if you're not pushing these releases, it's quite hard to sort of get them about. The event stuff I found pretty stressful, to be honest. Just constantly worrying about ticket sales and things like that. Obviously, there's that stress with the label side of things. But less so, do you know what I mean? It's not all on one night or all on one day. It's a gradual process of promoting the release and sort of finding music, building it up, then promoting it. So it's not sort of all in.
It's not so instantaneous and reliant on one like 5 hour period.
Exactly, and you know what I mean. There's a lot of variables. People don't turn up, weather's shit, things like that. So yeah, I prefer releasing music to doing events. Certainly, I've found I've been a bit more successful, essentially.
Definitely, man. I mean, I've done a couple of events in my time, and I've got to say, there's something that I'll always say to promoters is I can't deal with that first hour. That first hour for me is one of the most terrifying, like heart in my mouth moments when you that first hour. Obviously, for those that don't know, like I'm assuming you know exactly what I mean by the first hour.
Yeah. And you've got the sort of club manager breathing down your neck saying we usually have more people than this, etc. So yeah,
straight,
not enjoyable.
Straight from the off, and then obviously, I mean, who goes to the clubs in the first hour? No one turns up in the first hour. But no matter how many times you do an event, that first hour when no one turns up will always make you go, "Oh, I've made a big mistake here. Oh God, I don't know what I'm gonna do." But yeah, I mean, just to touch on the events briefly, then, like, when we're saying events, I'm assuming we're sort of running with a quite traditional sort of book DJs in a club sort of vibe.
Club nights, one room, not big things. I'm trying to think. First night we had Congi from Nottingham, which was actually sick, in a club called Dolphin Club in Manchester. Pretty ropey in terms of like organisation and promotion, but do you know what I mean? It was actually the first time I played out. And then second event we did was actually Crucial Recordings' second birthday with Sleeper and Foam Plate.
Nice.
And T-Man, which was wicked. and then did Ishan Sound, but like again, small venues, max 200, 300 capacity. Do you know what I mean? I was struggling to even fill that, so I wasn't really gonna try anything bigger. I don't know. I'd like to do something in Bristol, but that's another story.
It's a different. Would you say it's a different kettle of fish working in Bristol?
Yeah, I mean, there's just a bigger appetite for it here, essentially. I think there's also more spaces sort of designed for that sort of music, and I'm trying to think. In Manchester, there's the Dolphin Club, which doesn't really operate anymore. Hidden, I don't know whether you've been up to Manchester much. Hidden's a sick club for that sort of music, but I can't really think of in many other spaces. There's a few down in Fallowfield, the student area, but yeah, there's a lot more appetite for it in Bristol and better spaces. Yeah,
I'd agree. I think I mean Bristol almost has it has an international reputation for this sort of thing. It's very much a place where people will travel from around the world to play in Bristol. Now they probably do for Manchester as well, but I feel Bristol is almost is like to an extent one of the cultural musical hubs of the world.
Yeah,
to an extent.
I think one of the maddest lineups I've ever seen was a concept night. I think Concept X Submission at Black Swan. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. It was like Jay Kenzo back-to-back, Youngster back-to-back, N-Type, and then in the sort of second room you had Chunk Mob, Zygos, like a lot of like European crowd. Like, it was mad. I didn't actually go. It was pretty gutted not to go, but it was one of the maddest lineups I've ever seen.
I think as well with dubstep, the thing that I'm already gauging from this is that dubstep is something that you are just a big fan of in general. You're a fan of the sound, and it's something that you seemingly from the way you talk about it so far, it seems like it's something that you just enjoy more than anything else.
I just love it. Yeah, just straight up love it. Like. Do you know what I mean? I'm not doing the label stuff for any other reason. The fact that I just really enjoy the music, and I love finding new, especially the finding new music, finding new artists, putting that out. I like to obviously sort of support the artists within the label, but I do enjoy finding new artists, and that's the sort of buzz I get from it, essentially.
Amazing, man. I think that's a good way to be, and I think it always lends itself when you're working with that sort of mindset. It lends itself to actually making the label better long run, because you're not focusing in as much on sort of like on like tiny specifics or like a cap profit and loss sheets or anything like that. You're focusing in on making sure bangers get out there and reach as many people as possible, which is realistically the formula to running any good label, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I mean that's the aim, really. I just want to be consistent as possible and put out I think the only issue I'm having at the moment is just time. Like, I'm working full time. I'm trying to do the only thing that holds me back really is I do the artwork for the digital releases, and I'm not like. I mean, I don't have any qualifications for working in Adobe or anything like that, but, you know, it's going all right. I'm putting stuff together, but I'm trying to but get sort of a release a month, let's say, for the rest of the year. Obviously, the physical releases take a lot more time and planning. And there's obviously a lot more money being put into them, so they take a little bit longer. But with the digital releases, I want to sort of get that output back up to sort of release a month, or around that at least.
There we go. I mean, it is interesting to kind of look at, and I think this, when we're talking about the consistency level, this is something that I always kind of bring up in the reviews when I talk about Locus Sound on Juno. I find there is just such a level of consistency, not only for quality but for creativity as well. It seems to be there's always something slightly different about each release. There's some sort of new element that gets introduced to the point where I'd say that in regards to the catalogue, it's very forward thinking all the time. Like, there's stuff that's still ahead of its time, like a year later, I'd say. Like, how do you go about that sort I was going to ask, how do you go about that sort of A&R process? How do you find new music?
I'm just a bit of a SoundCloud whore, really. I'm just constantly on there. Yeah, that's about it, really. Just scouring SoundCloud. I just love finding. I don't know, I feel as if maybe my actual taste is constantly changing as well, so maybe that's why. So, I mean, there's obviously a consistency to the releases, but there's also, like, new elements for each release, or that's what I'm trying to do, at least.
Definitely.
So, yeah, SoundCloud mainly. Again, I mean, more recently getting good quality submissions through the emails and through the messaging, but essentially just scouring SoundCloud and then just firing off some messages and emails and seeing sort of what response I get.
Nice, man. I mean, it's working clearly because the catalogue's sounding amazing. There was a cartridge release recently which kind of blew me away, and I remember being very fond of that one. But we're going to jump into some new music now. This one goes by the name of, I believe, of Medem, and that's by an artist called ESP. Have I got that the right way around?
So the track is actually called Retrospect, and it's a duo, Medib and ESP.
Oh, right, I see. Let me just correct that so it comes up properly on the screen.
That's right.
But yeah, talk to me about this tune.
So yeah, this tune, I've been a fan of these guys for a while. Met him, I think, from Montreal. He's probably going to get angry if I get that wrong. And then ESP, I'm not sure he's from, but he's based in Australia now, which is obviously a duo from opposite ends of the world. But they were both based in Canada, I believe. Anyway, yeah, this is coming out probably towards the end of the year. Got some good response from Sicaria Sound and a few other DJs. But yeah, just wicked tune. They've got such a unique sound, these two, like... Probably my favourite two artists at the moment.
Amazing, man. I'm looking forward to getting into this one then. Don't go anywhere, guys. We're live on Cubcam TV. It's Brekky In The Cave, live on Trickstar Radio as well. We are joined by Locus Sound this morning. Right then, friends, we're back inside the building. This one coming from ESP and Medem, going by the name of Retrospect. Really cool tune. Very interesting put together, like layout on this one compositionally. Something, it's quite eerie, it's quite psychedelic, as we were saying off air there. In regards to the overall Locus sound, like how would you describe it as a catalogue? Like what would be the best way for you to describe the sound? And you're not allowed to use the word dubstep either.
That's difficult. Well, I mean, like the sort of tagline that I have on the SoundCloud, which I don't really push about too much, but it's a label pushing bass-driven flavours. So, I mean, obviously, most of the stuff we put out, apart from a few things on the compilation, are sort of 140 dubstep, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I don't want to sort of categorize it too much. I don't want to narrow it down too much because I've got there's quite a few things in the works which are not 140, and I sort of want to keep it open. So anything bass-driven, just with a load of weird shit going along over the top, essentially. Nice.
I mean, it's cool to see, and I think as well the kind of beauty of I'll say 140 music in general now is that there really are. It seemingly is looking like there really are no rules. Like the sound is constantly changing. The whole layout of things seems to be changing. Everyone's getting influenced by each other. There are no rules anymore.
Yeah, there's so much difference. I mean, there's so much variety. Like, I'm trying to think, some of our earlier releases were quite dark and almost that sort of industrial noise influenced style. But then you've got the trappy stuff, you've got the more dubby stuff, then you've got the sort of old school dungeony stuff. There's so much variety, essentially. And I like all of it.
Yeah,
so
and
it gives the label a lot of scope for sort of keeping it sort of options open, essentially.
Amazing. Like, I think when we're kind of looking at this, then overall, like as a project, like what sort of areas can you see Locus expanding into, like in the future? Would you like to get involved in that Bristol sort of events sort of scenario?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I definitely start small. I think obviously there's a lot of competition and but there's also a lot of appetite for it. But what I do is I found quite a sick venue actually in Easton, which is a bit further out. It's a small pub with 200, 300 capacity. No, let's say 100 to 200 actually capacity. I'd probably start there and try and build up a sort of monthly night with local residents essentially. But I also want to do some events with some overseas people. So our man from France, I'd love to get him over to Bristol. I know he's keen for it, and I think people would come and see him. Quasar's another one who came over for the Foundation Audio Night, who I met briefly. He seems like a sound guy, and just quite want to get a few of those, because obviously the people on the label, they're from sort of quite a broad spectrum of countries essentially, and it's whether bringing them in from abroad is worth basically ticket sales. But I'd love to bring in people from Europe who haven't played in Bristol before, because I think there would be an appetite for it.
Definitely.
But yeah, obviously the events scene has taken a massive hit now, so who knows when these venues are going to be open.
Yeah, of course.
I've got plans in the works essentially, but yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think with events it's going to be an unusual one to look at over the course of the next year, because realistically we don't know anytime soon when events are going to be popping off again. Like I was talking this morning about seeing like drive-through events and stuff like that. It's getting weird. Basically, people are really kind of trying different things and trying to really kind of stretch the meaning of what a live music and live events are. And to be honest with you, I'm quite a traditionalist when it comes to sort of live music. I like to go to a venue and watch people
100%,
perform.
mate. That doesn't sound like a thing to me. A drive-in, I get like a concert or a gig maybe, but like a sort of dance music night, nah. That's
Like,
not a thing.
how are you going to dance in your car? Like what?
Yeah, I know.
I can barely fit in a car as it is.
Thing, surely. I've seen some video. Maybe there's some stupid viral video of people just like honking their horns at the music, and it just drowns out the music. It's like, what are you doing? What's the point of that?
What's being achieved here? I don't get it.
Yeah, exactly. I'd rather just give it 6 months. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be a bit shit, but yeah. Once we're back. But I think you're right. It'll be the last thing to come back. I think pubs are opening fairly soon, probably in a slightly strange manner, but it will be the last thing, sort of after the things like cinemas and stuff like that, which is not a nice thing to hear, but I think just the reality of it, of what happens in a club, the sort of spacing and whatever.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah.
I mean, especially, the more you sit down and kind of break it down, you do kind of go, wow, there are so many things in a club that are going to be potentially dangerous. You're obviously looking at the bar side of things. You're looking at obviously even it being in a dance and sweating. Like, these are all things that are very kind of like very horrible to think about, but are very much relevant. But yeah, let's kind of move back to the label then, in regards to the sort of the kind of recent goings on. Like, how have you found the last year release wise in regards to sort of growth? Like, it seems to be like your every release is getting more and more reception.
The last year has been wicked. Just in terms of the music put out, sort of everything coming together. Actually got some merch made up from my mate Robin, who's actually based down in Brighton. Designer I was at school with, made up quite a sick t-shirt, things like that. Just the label, sort of every sort of facet of it coming together. So trying to think from the last year, so July last year, I think. So basically the first vinyl release was August last year. Let me have a look. And then after that we had our first compilation, which was 10 tracks. And again, we've got another one of them coming up, which is has a bit more of a license to go into other tempos. And also I think it's just quite a cool way of, as you were talking about earlier, the different styles of 140, you can just sort of show everything and the sort of full spectrum of sound of the label. So I'm looking forward to that. And then we had the Ohm release, the Maze release, the Cartridge release, and yeah, now onto this Lord Jabu one. So it's been a sick year.
It looks it, man. And I think as well, just to kind of take a look at dubstep as a whole, like, obviously we often say when a genre starts to like re-pop up that's already been around for a while, it almost goes through like a second renaissance period. We've seen it with garage quite heavily over the last kind of year and a half. That seems to be the buzz genre. But we've definitely seen over the last sort of 2 to 3 years dubstep really kind of re-establish itself in its more original, darker kind of format. Like, how have you found that to be at your end? Like, have you noticed much of a difference?
Well, I mean, like, I first started getting into dubstep when I was at school, but I'm 24, so in terms of like the original sort of coming, I wasn't really about for that. I remember sort of being in school, the sound was moving towards that bro steppy, rhythmy sound, whatever you want to call it. So I remember listening to like some of those Scream albums when I was a bit younger, but then not until about 2013, I think I was listening to one of those the Jay Kenzo self-titled album.
Yeah, of course.
Around the time of Youngster Destruction, that sort of sound. That's when I sort of got back into it, essentially, after just every track that had a sort of dubstep remix, and then got back into it in sort of 2013, and then went to Outlook in 2014. I remember being in the moat, just being like, yeah, this is for me. Then went to uni in 2014, and then obviously started up the label the sort of couple of years after that. But yeah, recently there's obviously just so much good music about. Yeah, I don't really know what to say apart from that. Like,
yeah, man.
Dubstep's in a great place, and like, I think it will continue to grow. It'll be interesting to see sort of what happens surrounding everything that's going on at the moment. I know sort of vinyl releases have slowed down from labels, and obviously the events have slowed down, but the quality of music is still there. It's just, I mean, being heard over the radio or sort of within studio mixes rather than out and about.
Yeah, definitely. And I think I mean, it's obviously not having the live side of things, especially with a genre that is as system heavy as dubstep, is always going to be quite damaging. But I could safely agree with you. Again, talking from that more reviewer perspective, some of the stuff I get sent for that's dropping on Juno at the moment is literally mind-bogglingly good. So I don't think the quality's gone anywhere, and it won't be going anywhere anytime soon. It's more a case of just how we take things in.
Yeah, well, I think people got more time at home now in the studio. They're making more tunes. Like, I remember someone saying about like having a banger boom, essentially, because everyone's now stuck at home just making tunes. So yeah, I think it could be a good thing. I think there'll be a lot of unreleased music or unheard music next time we get out to a night or whatever.
Yeah, it's going to be
quite exciting.
It's going to be quite a mind-blowing experience that first time, isn't it? But I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I actually got a mate out in China who's the clubs are now open there. It looks like a bit of a strange experience. I mean, they're not sort of like dance music nights, more sort of chart music-y nights, but everyone's got their masks on, so it'll be interesting to see whether we go along that approach, or they'll just open things when it's fully safe to be open, essentially.
I mean, I definitely prefer the latter of those two, to be completely honest.
Yeah, exactly. Get it back to its sort of real form rather than some weird hybrid where everyone feels a bit anxious and not really enjoying themselves fully.
There we go. Right then, we're going to jump into this one next. You did mention Lord Jabu being the next release. Give me 3 words to describe this one. It goes by the name of Swarm.
Oh, Swarm. Well, I get like Nintendo-y vibes from this. Heavy and dark, just proper. I want to hear this on the system. I've only heard this through my monitors, so yeah.
There we go. Right, we're going to get into this one now then. We are live on Cubcam TV and on Trickstar Radio. We've got a few minutes left on the line with Locus Sound, so don't go anywhere. Keep it locked. Hit that subscribe button. Hit like on the video as well, and we'll speak to you all very shortly. Sounds of Lord Jabu on this one, going by the name of Swarm. Really cool tune and a good way to round this off. We're going to play one more banger in just a second, but I want to hear what's on the way over the next sort of 6 months or so for Locus Sound. So yeah, tell me, what's on the way?
Sweet. So obviously you've got the Lord Jabu one releasing 3rd of July. So it's at pre-orders at the moment. And then after that is 014. So the Digi series is Woven Thorns. Used to be known as Cali. That's going to be a sick release. Really, really dark vibes on that one. And then 015 is a duo called Seraphim or Seraph. I need to get the name pronunciation right. yeah, them, Seraphim, and then 16 is a release from Crowley, who is Dutch, I believe, and which got the TMSV remix on there, which is really heavy. And then I think we're going to do, as I said earlier, that second compilation, which is going to be 12 tracks with a mixture of sounds, a couple of jungle tracks on there, one sort of half-timey beat from Quasar. So yeah, that'll probably take us up, I think. And then that Medam and ESP one also, that will take us up to Christmas. And then we've got a few more releases signed up there. And then, yeah, we've got a couple of other physical ones in the works now, but nothing that I can really talk about yet because it's not confirmed.
There we go. All right, cool then. So we're going to kind of round off here. We've got one more banger to play from today's selections. It goes by the name of 06 Trib. Is it 06 Trib or 06 Tribe?
You tell me, mate. I think 06 Trib, because I think it's a Dutch way of saying tribe, but maybe I'm just reading between the lines there. Maybe it's a spelling mistake.
But there we go. This one, the TMSV remix, original by Crowley. So yeah, in short terms, what's the best social media tag for people to get hold of you on?
I think on SoundCloud it's just Locus_sound, and then Facebook would be the same, I believe, or just Locus Sound MCR. Again, needs to change that because they're in Bristol. Yeah, Facebook at Locus Sound MCR, and then Instagram Locus_sound.
Good stuff. Right then, we're going to finish off with this one, dude. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on. Keep us updated with music, and we'll speak soon.
Will do, mate. Cheers.
Nice one. Right, don't go anywhere, guys. We're live on Cubcam TV. It's Brekky in the Cave. This one coming to us from TMSV, that remix of 06 Trib by Crowley. Keep it locked. Garage Shared are on the way. We're about to jump into the next conversation. I'm about to ring up the guys at Garage Shared. They're all in the same office, so should be easy to do. Out to the Locked In crew, of course, hit that like button and hit subscribe on the channel as well if it's your first time here. Loads of good stuff on the way. Don't go anywhere. my friends, we are live on Cubcam TV. We are also live on Trickstar Radio. It's Brekky in the Cave, myself, KXVU, in the hot seat. Massive shouts out to Locus Sound for the last half an hour. Really interesting chat there about events in Manchester, events in Bristol, dubstep in general. And we're switching genres next. We're moving over to Garage as the guys from Garage Share join us. Who have we got on the line?
How you doing, man? It's Bitrate,
Gavin Ford,
and Aki.
There we go. So we've got a full alignment of people. The thing I'm enjoying about this already is that we've got everyone on the end of one phone line rather than about 6 different WhatsApp connections, like all trying to join in together.
Yeah, it started echoing a bit before we break it down.
There we go. That's good to hear. So, this should be a good conversation. Obviously, you're all involved in sort of multiple projects as well. So it's not as if this is the only thing that you've got bubbling. So, what I wanted to kind of gauge from the beginning, in regards to Garage Share and how it came together, is pretty much how it did come together. Like, what's the thing that's kind of drawn you all into making this project?
Me and Aki are in a group called Four. And in 2016, we started to put together a Pure Garage album. We convinced them to bring back the Pure Garage albums that EZ used to do years ago. That was the sort of the reason we got into doing garage, and we convinced them to do Pure Garage, but as all new garage music, which they wanted to call it Pure Future Garage and Pure. But we convinced them to do it as current garage. And in 2016, when it comes to compiling 60 tracks of new garage, we basically, I think we listened to every single radio show, anyone who had played garage and did a garage mix in a year and a half around 2016, we listened to it. We compiled 130 tracks for it, and we realised that there was so many great producers making new garage music, but there wasn't really a label platform for them, and also there was a lot of producers that were doing great remixes or bootlegs and stuff, but not actually making original music. So we decided to come up with a label and a platform to not only release new garage music, but to help garage producers make garage music, whether it be us writing songs for them, finding vocalists for them, putting people together. And yeah, rather than just go, rather than try, helping, we've been into garage since those EZ garage albums.
Yeah.
So we've always made it ourselves, and we just thought there's so many good, decent people out there. I think if we gave them a hand and sort of push in the right direction, we could get something really good going on.
There we go. I mean, it's quite an interesting way it's all come together then. It's all spiraled off the back of almost a misconception of where garage is at by that original garage album. It seems like that's the thing that's made you kind of go, hang on, there's a lot of stuff going on here that's not being represented properly. We want to kind of dive in and do our bit to help more than anything else.
Yeah, I think we obviously we were around. I worked in the record shop when garage was around the first time. So, and obviously we're from Southampton, so Artful Dodger, Craig David, and there was big garage. Southampton was quite big for the first time garage come round. So we've always wanted garage to come back and always craved that sort of scene and that feel from back then. So as soon as we started looking for these artists and finding there's actually some incredible artists out there, let's work with them some more, and it just sort of come together naturally.
There we go. I mean, it's cool to see, and obviously with the sort of formation of the project, are you all three of you involved on quite a daily basis?
Yeah, more so since lockdown. I think, with other stuff being temporarily shelved, we've all got other stuff going on outside it within dance music stuff, where different genres of music or just different job roles and stuff, whether that's helping to run events or even other labels as well. So Gav and Aki also look after Yosh as well, Yosh Pitt, and sort of smashing it on the bassline side of things. So we've all got loads of stuff going on, but it's been nice. It's kind of weird since lockdown's up, and it's been nice to sort of just really focus on this. And as you focus on more on something, you realise there's loads more going on than we even realise, and we think we're quite up to speed on what's going on. And then when you sort of, what it's like when you're able to focus more on something, you sort of uncover even more.
Yeah, of course.
And it's been really good the last few months.
I feel a good way to describe it is almost it's the tip of the iceberg to an extent.
Yeah, I mean, it's really funny, like, watching some of the chats going on in certain groups online and stuff where you get certain debates going on, and there are people sort of saying, oh, you know, there's no new garage music, or garage is dead, and you're like, no, far from it.
Yeah,
like,
very much so.
So, yeah, and then part of the reason that I'm into it is, you know, discovering these new artists and helping to push them and put them on a platform so that more people can listen to them. And there's a lot of talent out there.
Definitely, man. I think overall, if we're talking sort of garage as a genre, I was in the last interview, we were talking about almost the renaissance of dubstep, and I think realistically, the thing that always seems to crop up in this conversation is the fact that garage has always been there. Like, there's always been garage producers working away. For a fair few years, I'd say from around sort of 2008 through till about, let's say, 2014, it was almost sort of treated as almost like a bit of a nostalgic sort of genre. It was treated a little bit of like, oh yeah, he's doing a garage thing, it's a bit of a throwback. Yeah, it wasn't really like a main kind of focus for a lot of people, but I feel now over the course of the last sort of 6 years, it's definitely re-arrived in a much more sort of prominent role in UK dance music, I'd say.
Yeah, I think since the release of the Pure Garage album in 2017, I think from us putting together and then following on from that, it's got stronger and stronger and stronger, and this year there's some fantastic producers, there's some fantastic records. The events have started slowly, up in, obviously before lockdown, starting to creep in. It's great to be a part of it, and there's a great, there's a very broad amount of producers out there, from doing the more vocal stuff to the W stuff, which is why we started the GS Dubs label, to bring in that W sound. That's probably the most popular at the moment for us, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know, because we've got Garage Shared, which sort of deals with more of the slightly more commercial aspect of it, the more vocal aspect of stuff, a lot of two-step stuff going on there. And then, yeah, GS Dubs, we wanted to sort of focus on a lot more of the dance floor ready stuff that was going on as well.
Nice. So it's all, you've got a real like spectrum covered then.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's it's just trying to replicate what's going on as well. And we know there's like loads of other labels doing bits as well that are even more, you know, like more stripped back sort of stuff. So it's just trying to sort of represent what's going on as much as we can.
Definitely, man. I mean, like, how have you found? Obviously, we were speaking earlier quite briefly about working during lockdown. Like, how have you found the sort of submission side of things in regards to lockdown? Like, are you seeing more submissions than normal?
Yeah, so we started doing regular free download weeks starting in April, where we would just sort of pick 7 tracks for a week. Because we were getting so many submissions, a lot of bootlegs coming in, a lot of DJ weapons kind of coming in, and we wanted to put that on a platform. So we started doing those. That's once a month. We started pushing those out, and then a lot of other output from just it's trying to fit it all in, if I'm honest, because we've had so much stuff from the producers that we regularly use, the artists that we regularly use, and then new people that we've taken on, and to the point of that we've now sort of got a release every week until October, isn't it? November. Wow. Yeah, until November.
Yeah, we found artists because we're sat at home doing nothing else but listen to music. So we even found some artists. So we found a girl called Opidan, who just released last week. She's #1 on the Beatport releases.
Phono Vibes.
A guy called Phono Vibes. A guy called Yosi. Is that how you pronounce it? Sorry. Prozac. We found him just before. We found him just before lockdown, to be fair. But yeah, we've got some real exciting artists, and we've got some really exciting projects for some of these artists. And we have someone from it's good that we can work with someone from Opidan, who this is our first ever release. And for the complete other spectrum is Selector, who we've worked with for 3 years since the start, who is one of the first artists on the label. And now we're working on some really, really exciting projects with him. So it's a really exciting time. It's good to come into work. I enjoy coming into work.
Definitely, man. I think what we're going to do is we're going to jump into this one from Opidan. This one is goes by the name of Inside, I believe.
Oh yeah, that's a nice link.
There we go. So, you'd think I was a pro at this, wouldn't you? Anyway, kind of cracking on then. Let's jump into this one then. So, how did the process of this one coming in happen then? Was this one you kind of did you ask for the tune? Did she have it ready? Was it built specifically? Like, how did the release actually come together?
She's one of the ones we found from just listening to music. Like, I come across her just in this lockdown phase. And did you hear this?
I first heard of her. She did the bootleg for Bicep. She did, and you know, like one of those things, if you're just SoundCloud deep diving and you just sort of go into a bit of a thing where you're just in a SoundCloud hole. And I came across the track and then watched every so often the stuff she was doing. And we got in touch and sort of really liked some of her other stuff. And we just said, you know, we'd like to work with you basically. And I think that's kind of, it's open-ended to an extent of that, saying like, look, we love what you're doing. We'd like to work with you and go from there and see if they do have stuff that they're coincidentally working, or if they do stuff that's bespoke for it. But because we've got both labels, I think it gives us a bit of an option to say, look, if you're in this vibe that you want to sort of make dancehall ready tunes, we've got GS dubs for that. But if you are more on you want to create song-based stuff, you know, radio-ready stuff, then we've got Garage Shed as well. But she came up with these. Yeah, we were all over them as soon as we heard them, to be honest.
There we go. It's a good way to start off the music for the day then, I think. Right then, we're going to get into this one now. We're on the line with the guys at Garage Shed. Don't go anywhere, my friends. We are live on Clubcam TV and Brekky In The Cave. Keep it locked.
Let me take you inside. Let me take you inside.
Right then, friends, we're back inside the building. Just gone. Well, we're inside with Garage Shed. There we go. It's been a very enjoyable start to the show, finding out all about how the label came together, like your sort of individual roots in, and the sort of aims of the label in the way it's been kind of put together. That one there coming from Up and Down, track entitled Inside, currently number 1 on the Beatport Garage. Is it Garage Grime and Dubstep? I always lose track of what they're called on Beatport.
Garage Grime and Bassline.
Garage Grime and Bass. There we go. I had a feeling Dubstep's called like left field bass or something unusual like that. But let's kind of crack on then. So how has the last kind of year been in regards to releasing then? Because obviously it seems to get bigger with every release, the label.
Oh, thank you. That's good. That's where we want to be going. When we started GS Dubs in November.
Yeah, about that sort of time, November, December.
Yeah. So that's where we started to broaden. So before we were just, so it was garage shared, which was always the goal was just, obviously garage is very broad genre. We wanted a label that released all aspects of UK garage, covering all things, and then Chris come in and had the GS Dubs idea, and we run with that. And as we said earlier, now we've got stuff every week, sometimes twice a week across the garage share GS Dubs. We got artist albums coming. We've got some really interesting stuff coming. We just done Dub Mania as well, which is Chris' idea.
Yeah, I think like with the evolution and stuff, and just like if you look at a particular artist, so like Gav mentioned him before, Selector, a guy who's been with Garage Shed since day one, and now, you know, the point where you start doing single releases, then you get to EPs, then you get into albums, and now, yeah, we're getting to a point with it that now what's the next, can't fully announce it, but he's got something coming in a couple of months that's something different from him along the album side of things, but it's knowing that we've got that, you know, evolution in using one artist, it's kind of a soft blueprint to use for people of where you want to get them to within the label, and then put them on a platform and see what happens from there, really.
Definitely. Like, do you guys enjoy that more sort of that process of building people up? Because like, this is the thing I can gather from the way all of you are, that like this sort of the idea of starting a project is something that kind of excites you. That's what I'm gathering anyway.
I think as for before I released my first record, me and John from 4 released our first record in 2002.
Okay.
And we didn't have success until a lot later. And in my opinion, our music's been, well, to be honest, with the first project was a hardcore project and was actually very successful for hardcore music. And then we had a break after that, and then we come back into it 2009, which was sort of the end of the fidget thing.
Yeah.
I quite liked the fidget thing, and we got into it. And I've always thought that our music was good, and no one would help us. So as soon as we started setting up these labels and 4 had success, our main thing is to help artists. So we get excited about helping artists, whether it be someone's first release to helping them put together their first album. So yeah, we get a lot of it's our goal. Our goal is to help artists, not just go, oh, you've got a good tune, can we sign it? It's you're very talented, let's help you make the best music you can possibly, and then release it.
There we go.
Do it the best it can.
I mean, it's quite cool to see, and obviously from like a label perspective, like that, understanding that process that it goes through working with artists, it seems to me more than anything else, you tend to work quite long term with artists rather than sort of just like one-off releases here and there. It seems to be you almost like build plans with them.
Yeah, we obviously we're artists ourselves. So we kind of understand the process of what it takes. So we know that's how we'd want to work, and we kind of obviously attracted to artists that are similar sort of artists. So we always kind of are drawn to people that we think are capable of making an album. I think some dance producers are very single based, but some you can actually hear them make an album. We're definitely album artists. We've always had that. So I think we're kind of drawn to that. So we think we want to work with people on a long-term plan, because it's best for them and it's best for us, rather than going, let's release a song. It's right, let's see how we can not only release a song, but develop your sound and develop your brand. So touch wood, we can get you making money out of music, which is everyone's goal, is just to wake up and only have to think about making music and not have to go to work.
Entirely, man. I think it's quite a cool way of approaching things, because obviously with labels, a lot of the time you end up getting almost like caught up in mantras and caught up in doing this and this. And what I'm gathering from the collection of projects that you're working on, it seems to be more than anything else that it's about getting people to the place you feel they should be.
100%.
There we go. Right, let's move into the next track on today's listing then. So this one, you mentioned him a little bit earlier. This one is from Prozac, track entitled Us. Talk me through this tune. How did it come together?
So we've been working with Prozac for a little while. Aki, do you want to because you were the first one that got into contact with him?
Yeah, he just sent the track in randomly, and as soon as I heard it, I thought, man, this guy he's got something, definitely. And he'd only released one song previously, but I had support from Conductor, he was saying. And then I I just said, have you got anything else? And he sent like 3 or 4 tracks within a week.
I think the interesting thing with Prozac is that he's not in what you consider the typical like UK garage scene. Like he's not from London or the South.
No, he's from
like
Dublin.
from Dublin.
Yeah.
And like, which I think makes it more interesting to hear what he comes up with, because he's not living in it, he's not surrounded necessarily by it, apart from if it's online. You know, I'm sure they've got stuff over there, but it's not as, you know, strong as it is in London and the South. So it's always interesting to hear someone from a different background and their take on it, and he's killing it.
I mean, I was shocked when I found out it's from Dublin.
Also, he's 21, and we listen to sometimes he sends music through, and it sounds like it could have come out in like '96.
Yeah. In a good way.
He's got he's got a maturity to his sound and a depth to his production that just
it's crazy.
It's some of these records is like I could play them amongst some records that come out in that period, and you wouldn't tell the diff. Like it's
crazy
to have such maturity in his production at such a young age is incredible.
Awesome.
So
I'm excited then. I'm excited. Let's get into this one then. Coming from the sounds of Prozac, this one goes by the name of Us. We're live on the line with Garage Shared right about now. Keep it locked. Cubcam TV. It's Brekky In The Cave. My friends, this one coming from Prozac, track entitled Us. Super colourful flavours on this one, really vibrant, really bubbly, and a good representation of where a lot of UKG is at right now. Very much, I feel we're in a fun phase of UKG. We're a little bit past the kind of like heads down, we're going to be cool about it. People are just making fun music, which is amazing to see. So, moving forward, we have the guys from Garage Shared on the line. I want to know about the next 6 months, so what's on the way?
Okay, so currently, right now, what's happening is that we did a project called Dub Mania, talking about having fun. We were in lockdown, and I think a few of us, it was just, you know, lockdown get a bit draining a little bit, and we were just wanting to do something that was a bit of a laugh, but at the same time with some quality music. So we came up with this concept called Dub Mania, which was a take on WrestleMania, because I'm a massive wrestling nerd. but wanted to combine the two. We came up with these ideas that you'd have like artists on the label going up against each other in these themed gimmick style matches.
Okay.
So the first one we did was where they pick a song from the label, remix it, and we called it the Remix Riot, and then we put it up to public vote. The next one we did was a vocal clash where we had Black Habit and Selector go up with a brand new tune against each other, put it up for public vote. And currently what we've got is it's a fatal four-way dub match between Aki, Bunker, Phono Vibes and Yosi. And they just got 4 brand new dance floor ready tunes, and the public are voting on that at the moment. We might well be doing something with all those tracks. We can't fully confirm that yet. But that's the immediate. And then, like we said earlier, we've got constant releases until November. The schedule, which you drew up the other day, was insane. The next big project, Gav, is probably Selector.
Yeah, maybe. We got
maybe.
We got exciting stuff coming. We got albums coming. We got we're going to do an EP which is open to new garage producers, because we've discovered some more, and we've had a couple of good tracks come in. So we're going to do an Enter the Garage shared EP. We're going to call it.
Nice. I like that.
So yeah, we got a big project plan for the end of the year. It's going to be an exciting end to the year. I'm excited to.
Yeah, we might end up, assuming what the government say, we might end up doing something a bit more visual, and a bit more inclusive.
Okay, cool, nice. Yeah. I mean, this is cryptic as anything, but I'm enjoying the crypticity of it.
Yeah, we just got to wait on, we don't want to announce anything too soon if the government are telling us we can't do it.
Yeah, of course. But it's good to be safe, and it's good to be doing things the right way. So I'm going to say we're going to finish up there because we've got a couple of minutes left, and I've got one more interview to get into today. We're going to finish up with this tune from Black Habit. This one is From the Inside. Talk to me about this one.
So this is from the Dub Mania thing that we were talking about. This won last week's contest. So it's up against the new track from Selector. Both great songs. What we love about Black Habit is he just constantly uses great vocalists in his tunes. They're great. It's another side to garage. Like you're saying about it being fun, I think melody and vocals come back in a big way. And it's cool to see someone like him consistently be able to smash that.
There we go. Right then, guys, it's been really good to talk to you all this morning. Obviously, we'll keep in touch in regards to any new music. Please do let us know as soon as stuff is popping, so we can get stuff working over on 3000 and Junior, and then obviously supporting on this show as well. One time, what are the best social media tags for people to get you on?
So Garage Shared everywhere. Just search Garage Shared on all platforms. Worth mentioning, if you are a new producer and you're looking for a home to get your stuff out on, or if you just want to run some stuff by us, please email us info@garageshared.com.
Amazing.
We listen to every demo that gets sent in.
We listen to everything. So
there we go. Good stuff. Right then, guys, we'll keep in touch, and we will speak soon.
Awesome, thanks for the chat, man.
No worries at all. Right then, guys, we're going to get into this one, Black Habit, From the Inside, and we're going to be jumping on the phone with ELLIE SABINE in just a second. Don't go anywhere.
Escape your eyes. Oh, I can't escape your smile. Calling out to me in my mind. Calling out in the quiet time. I hear you in, I hear you in, always you're in my dream. You're in my dream. Looking out. From the inside, looking out, from the inside,
Right then, friends, we're live inside the building. We're about to jump on the line with ELLIE SABINE, Singh, talking about MTV, talking about telly in 2020, and of course, this being the 2020 that no one expected. Out to the guys at Garage Shared. That was a really enjoyable conversation. Remember, you can check the podcast out via the links in the top right-hand corner, as you can see. That is Spotify, Apple Music, and SoundCloud. Don't go anywhere. Keep it locked. There's plenty more on the way.
Looking out from the inside. I hear you in my head. I hear you in my head. Looking out from the inside. Looking out from the inside. Take me up to where you are. I wanna be with the stars. Take me up to where you are. I'm at home, you with the stars. With the stars. I am at home, you with the stars. With the stars. I am at home.
Right then, my friends, we are live on Cubcam TV. It's Brekky In The Cave, live via youtube.com/Cubcam TV, and of course, Trickstar Radio as well. We are joined this morning by my third guest, my oldest friend in the world, ELLIE SABINE Singh, joins us. How are you doing?
Hey Jay, I'm good, thank you. You know, Monday, getting through, pushing through.
I don't know what it is. I know exactly what it is about Mondays. It's literally because sleeping on a Sunday is a physical impossibility by the looks of things.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is.
Yeah, definitely. I've been, I think I just drank too much on the weekend as well, which never helps.
It never, you know what it is? I think we might be getting to that age, you know, where 2-day hangovers is a normality. I think that might be what's happening.
Totally. Yeah, sure.
Anyway, so obviously we've got a few things to talk about. You were a regular on Breakfast with KXVU last year when you were down quite often, and we were having you on the show a fair bit, kind of talking through the different projects you were working on. And obviously you're very, very busy with what's popping at the moment. So do you want to talk me through like how things have been for the last sort of year or so?
Yeah, so for the last year, I've been at MTV heading up all of their social media content across all digital platforms. So YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, bit of Snapchat here and there. So yeah, all of their originals content plus everything from music content to film junkets to social responsibility stuff. So yeah, been a busy little bee doing all that, and kind of focused my energy really on that. So kind of had a pause on some other personal projects, which I'm starting to get back into now. With lockdown, I've obviously had much more time on my hands, so I've been able to kind of pick up some of my own things, which is always really exciting. And my contract is actually coming up to an end at MTV now, so I'm looking to the future, and I've got a few things on the horizon. But yeah, I'm in the middle of some quite tricky decisions. So
yeah, I can imagine.
Soon will all be revealed.
I can imagine, man. I mean, it's been amazing to kind of watch. Obviously from down here in BTN to watch all the things you're involved in, and obviously, we both not necessarily started, but we were both on the same station in Trickstar for a fair amount of time. Like in regards to the sort of more public speaking side of things, and obviously sort of radio and podcasting and stuff like that. Is that something you've been involved with much over that time period?
I've done less of it, to be honest, because the work that I have been doing has been so all-consuming, and I kind of just wanted to really give that my all whilst I was at MTV and had that opportunity. So I've been doing less of it. I've done the odd guest on people's shows here and there, but not necessarily like my own content that I've been putting out. It's definitely something that I'm still interested in, although, however, my kind of focus now has turned more into like the directing and the producing of things. Like that's kind of where my long-term goals are currently set, as opposed to presenting or kind of hosting. It's not to say that won't happen. Like, I'm very much someone that thinks you can have many strings to your bow, but yeah, that's kind of where that's where my energy is at the moment. Is like I'm doing as much writing. I'm really trying to do kind of more behind the camera focused stuff, as it were.
Okay, cool. I mean, it's quite interesting to obviously see that transition with yourself, because obviously having known you literally the whole of my life, it's always been you've always been someone who's been very kind of camera friendly. You know, you've always been someone who's been quite bubbly, quite like quite a personality, someone who is quite like happy to be involved in conversations and not really shy away from those sort of things. So to kind of see that transition of you now going, actually, I quite like being behind the camera. I quite like doing all the other bits. Like, it's quite interesting to see. What do you think's kind of brought that around?
Well, I think, don't get me wrong, like that's still my personality. I'm very much, you know, I'm not afraid of attention, as it were. But like, I don't know. I just think there's less pressure from behind the camera to be able to tell stories. Like, in front of the camera, you constantly have to turn up. You constantly have to be like ready for people to see you and all of these things all the time, which, you know, you might not necessarily, like, I personally like don't always want that like all the time. I think it's just a lot of pressure, but that being said, of course it's super fun, and I do love those opportunities when they do arise. I just don't know that it's necessarily what I want to focus my 100% kind of career goals on. Also, like, you see things that, to be honest, just like, I'm a sensitive soul. Like, you see people that have massive platforms, like the amount of trolling and all of these things that they have to deal with, that all of the added pressures that come with being like a public face. Like, as I've gotten a bit older, I think that's become kind of much more real to me.
Okay. Is that something that you have you already experienced, or is it something that you're more kind of?
It's not something I've necessarily. I mean, obviously, like, I've experienced people being mean to me, like, in my life, and I'm bad enough at handling that. So let alone it being on a massive platform, and, you know, having to deal with that every day. Like, that honestly, like, is just a massive turn off for me. Okay. And I think that you can still be just as powerful from, you know, behind the camera as well, and like telling stories and doing that kind of thing. And I think I've always been a very kind of creatively driven person. So getting into directing and writing and producing and thinking about things from art direction to, you know, different locations and different ways of shooting things and doing all of that, like all of that kind of thing does really, really excites me as well, and gives me that same fulfillment as, you know, as other things as well. So that's just the kind of the path I'm on right now. Awesome,
man. I mean, obviously during your time at MTV, you've been there obviously for a fair amount of time now. You've been very involved in sort of like, as you said, the more sort of social media side of things, the more sort of again sort of public facing, but not necessarily as a face as much, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously it's a massive platform, so it's a great opportunity to be able to create things, send a really positive message or educate someone in some way. So it's been amazing to be able to have that access to that, and then also the access to the talent and all of that kind of thing. It's been really great in that sense, and I think that sometimes can be more powerful, like, than me. I don't know. Like, there's obviously pros and cons to everything. But yeah, I've been heavily involved in all of the stuff that goes out to like millions of people. So you know you have a sense of responsibility in that sense, which feels good.
Nice, man. I mean, obviously, kind of looking at it, it's something that you kind of have worked towards for a long period of time. What would you say the biggest thing you've kind of taken in and learnt from this experience of working with MTV for so long is?
I think self-belief is a big one. Like, I think when I first joined there, I had a bit of a case of imposter syndrome. Like,
Yeah,
I was
of
very nervous. I was very nervous because, you know, it's one of the, like, all these big names from the outside in sound so scary and so prestigious, but actually when you get there you realize, you know, you're there for a reason. People haven't hired you because you're not capable, like, and also you 9 times out of 10 you're working with a lovely, amazing, supportive teams. Everyone's there for each other. Yeah, you're going to make mistakes along the way, but as long as you learn from them quickly, it's fine. And it's just having that self-belief of, like, actually my ideas are good, like, I know what I'm doing, I've been doing this for a long enough time. So that is one thing that kind of is just, if you believe that you can do it, then you will. Because ultimately, if you care about something, like, even if you mess it up, you'll give it another go, and you know, it'll be better next time.
Definitely, man. I think as well, the kind of growth we've seen from almost like the outside that we can see of yourself is you seem to be a lot more kind of I don't want to say straight to the point, but you seem to be a lot more kind of, you know, kind of where you're going and what you want to do with it.
I think so. I mean, that being said, like, it's hard because I feel like I do have a bit of vision, but then at the same time, you know, there will be new opportunities arising, which obviously you should always be very grateful for, but it's sometimes hard to know what is the right decision to make. So yeah, I definitely do feel like, though, the more that I'm doing, the more I know what I'm doing. As weird as that sounds.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I think very
like,
much
you have
with...
to be. It's one of those things you have to, like. It's so true, because I've definitely been at a time in my life where I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew areas that I was interested in and things that I cared about, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. And it is so true. Like, you have to be in it to win it. Like, the more you are involved in these scenes and these things, you figure out what you do like, what you don't like, and it kind of just works itself out in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, opportunity is a funny thing, isn't it? It comes it will be silent for a while, and then 6 things will come knocking. And I think, I think an interesting thing to kind of take away from this is more than anything else, like, learning on the job, I think, is something that is essential, I feel, in any of these more sort of media-driven, quite like quick turnaround industries. You have to be able to learn on the job, and you have to be able to kind of improvise. Like, do you find yourself like improvising with work stuff quite a lot at the moment?
Definitely. There's always an element of that, and I think you know, I think a good thing to do is know what you can do, and then believe in yourself that you can do a little bit more than that as well. So when you are in those interviews, like, if you know what to do, but you know that you're confident that you could do something, but maybe you haven't had all of the experience or whatever, like, as long as you have an understanding and a little bit of experience that's relatable in some way, usually by doing it, you're going to figure it out. And so I think it's always good to kind of big yourself up in that sense when you are having interviews. And what was the thing that you said before? Sorry, my mind's gone.
In regards to, like, are you thinking on the job more?
Yeah, definitely. And then I think everyone is, to an extent. We're all winging it a little bit, aren't we? Like, we're all figuring it out as we go. Like, of course, with time and with experience and with, you know, working at a massive global company, you're going to get access to different opportunities that you're going to get from, you know, working at a startup or working at somewhere else, and people understand that. So I think as long as you've got the transferable skills and you've got experience in some way, obviously I don't think you should lie in interviews and say that you can do something if you absolutely can't, or you have no experience of it. But I think definitely, like, there's an element of every job is slightly different anyway, so you're always going to be learning, you're always going to be doing something a bit different. So yeah, I think that's something that we all kind of need to remind ourselves, is everyone's kind of winging it a little bit.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think
even the big bosses.
Yeah, this is something I'd imagine. I was going to say, I can imagine that never going away. Like, you can talk to global people who are, like, literally heads of major companies. I don't reckon most of the time people know what they're doing. I think most of the time people are winging it.
Yeah. Also, working in, like, digital, for example, like, the digital space is so constantly evolving and ever changing that it's like, it's impossible to know everything all the time. Like, you're constantly going to have to learn a new skill or a new platform that's, like, on the come up or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's just the nature of it.
Definitely. I think it's I think at any point if someone was to turn around and say, I know exactly what I'm doing with digital, I'd just turn around and say, well, you're lying, because you don't. It changed 5 minutes ago and you've been talking to me for 5 minutes. There's no way you know everything. And it's quite an interesting one to look at. You've sent over a couple of tunes which we're going to get into today. This first one comes from Celeste, goes by the name of I Can See the Change. Talk to me about this one. Why is this one in the selection?
Obviously, you know, always going to support my girl Celeste, one of my oldest friends. She has had such an incredible year or two, just with the amount of growth. Obviously, she won the Brit Award. She won, there was another award that she won, BBC Sounds. She's just been, like, her growth and the work, like, the growth rate for her has just been phenomenal over the last year, and
I saw she's up for
she's been doing it.
I was gonna say I saw she's up for a BET award as well.
She's up for a BET award. Like, she's just a beautiful example of 5 years in the game. She was working hard. Like, I've even got a photo on my Instagram. If you go right back to the end of my Instagram, when I first saw her live at Green Doors store in Brighton, and that was me seeing her singing live for the first time, and that was like 6 years ago now. So it's like, do you know what I mean? It's just like, it's just a nice story of growth and just seeing real talent prevail. And I know personally from her being one of my closest friends that, you know, she's had opportunities in her life that she's turned down because they weren't quite right for her. And, you know, they were opportunities that some people might think you're crazy to miss out on. But actually, she stayed so true to her vision and to who she is. And you're now seeing her propel as the exact artist that she's always wanted to be. She hasn't had to make compromises. So it's just an amazing success story, really. And obviously, you've always got to support the local Brighton gal.
There we go. That's what we like to hear. So we're going to get into this one now. Don't go anywhere, guys. We're live on Cubcam TV. It's Brekky In The Cave, also live via Trickstar Radio. Yeah, we'll see you in a second.
I can see the change. Come what may, I won't regret the day. I can see the change, feel the pace of everything. Who am I, teary-eyed? Who are you in your life? Are you dumb enough to pass the time? Oversold and out of life. No, it's not for me anymore. No, it's not for me anymore. No, it's not for me anymore.
Friends, we're back inside the building. ELLIE SABINE joins us this morning. It's been good to catch up so far. Obviously, we're both busy bees. Probably two of the most busy people I've ever met, and I think you'll probably say the same.
Love it. Yeah, I mean, you definitely are. You're a madman, especially with everything that you've been doing with your YouTube channel now. It's like, I know how much work that takes.
Yeah.
And I also know you, and I can just imagine you just locked in at that computer, editing, filming. It's just, it's mad. No, because it actually is a lot. It takes an awful lot of work to be that consistent. So big up to you.
Yeah, thank you. You're not lying. I'll say that. You're not lying.
It's nice to see though that like the wins that you're having already, like fairly early on. Like you're already, you're on the road to 1K, as they say.
Yeah. It's exciting, man. It's exciting. I think the interesting thing about it is the fact that obviously with this channel I've tried to do something which is a bit not niche, because obviously you don't want to be too niche on YouTube. You want to be something that people can connect with. But I definitely felt there was a bit of a gap in the market for UK sort of cross genre platforms, and having them all in one place and just having a sort of regular discussion about things. So that's pretty much what this channel's about. And
it's true. I love reaction videos as well, by the way. Like I'm a massive reactions videos fan.
Nice.
So yeah.
Nice. Well, I'm glad.
I love to see you doing that.
It's quite funny as well. Like, kind of like 2 years ago, I wouldn't have said I'd be doing reaction videos. I'd be going, nah, never, not me. And now I'm like, yeah, it's great fun. I love doing it. So there we go. Let's kind of look at the year then, because obviously in the lead up to this, I said I wanted to kind of look at 2020 as a year, because I know you're someone who's very kind of active and good at speaking on these things and is very much in the know of what's going on. So I mean, to say it briefly, it's been a bit of a mad year so far.
I mean, it's been a madness, hasn't it? Yeah. It's been like nothing we ever would have expected. I still don't know really how I feel about it. I think there are definitely some days where you feel positive and you feel hopeful and you're like, oh, well, maybe we needed this. And then there are other days that you're just like, I am fed up, I'm tired, I'm sad, it's very up and down.
Yeah, I think for a lot of the time it is very much. I think we're seeing more emotion than we've ever seen before. Just before we get into this a little bit further, I want to say out to Tier Talks locked in. Hope you are doing okay at your end. But yeah, kind of like moving more into that sort of emotional side of things. Like, how do you find yourself processing that sort of thing?
Hello,
can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you. How did I find what? Sorry.
How did you find that? How are you finding the sort of process of processing this much sort of emotion on pretty much a day-to-day basis at the minute?
I think day-to-day I'm all right. Like I'm very lucky that I've moved back in with my family, which wasn't the plan, but it happened. So I'm very lucky in that sense. I've got my family around me. So I haven't, necessarily been lonely, where I know a lot of people have been because they've been locked away inside for so long without loved ones around them and not being able to see people properly. So in that sense, it's good. I think there's been times where I've found it particularly hard. I think everything that has been going on with the Black Lives Matter movement is incredible and it's needed, but like there are a couple of really dark weeks with that, which I think people felt, especially obviously not even being a black person. Like I felt an ounce potentially of what they were feeling, but yeah, man, that was a very, very tough kind of 3 weeks, and I think things are starting to kind of level out now, but it's just about keeping that conversation going and keeping active, making sure that we're putting out everything within our kind of circle of influence that we're able to do. We're keeping that going, which is obviously super important. And being Pride Month now as well, like just figuring out how the work that I can do can kind of be the best for those kind of marginalized communities. But yeah, I think just trying to stay connected with people, like gratitude is a huge thing. Like I'm always, whenever I'm feeling sad and down, I'm always trying to remind myself of everything that I do have and just remaining grateful for all of that, which is always usually the thing that kind of brings me out of it. But I think it's a really important time to, if people need to, like seek help from therapists, that there's so much access out there now to people like even doing like Zoom therapies and all of those things. There's loads of resources, obviously, like podcasts and all of that kind of thing is really good. Like, I'm just trying to educate myself as well. Like, I realise there's so much. I mean, obviously, there's so much that we all don't know. But I'm trying to re-educate myself in as many areas as possible, which always does kind of help. Knowledge is power, as they say.
Of course.
So yeah.
I mean, it's been. I think the thing that I'm finding so the thing that I found kind of overwhelming is on a personal level, I've never believed in ignorance being an excuse. So I've always been someone that's like, if something needs to be kind of taken in, the sooner you take it in, the better. And obviously, what I'm finding with that is when people having a similar sort of mindset to that is when it's a constant kind of thing of this, it can be quite overwhelming. But again, it's kind of finding that balance, I think, between understanding that there are certain necessities in changing the world and making a positive change that are going to come with that sort of strain.
Yeah, for sure. It's never going to be an easy conversation, and it's never going to be an easy thing to do. And I think that you're going to come across people that have completely stark different views to you, and actually maybe not engaging with them is the best thing, because sometimes people are just so stubborn that they're not going to change their views no matter how many facts you give them. And there are other people that actually you can have a conversation with them and they'll really start to think and see things differently. So I think you just have to kind of pick your battles, really. Definitely. On a one-to-one level, but obviously on a bigger structural level, then there's definitely work that needs to be constantly pushed for. Yeah. But sometimes on a personal level, like sometimes having a conversation with someone whose mind is just not going to change is going to cause you more stress than good, I think. Definitely. I think what, unironically, I think the last sort of couple of weeks, I think we've all seen people on our social feeds that you've kind of gone, wait, what? That's how are you like? How are you there? Like how I don't understand how you've ended up there. But overall, it's been and obviously there are as similar to yourself. Obviously, you do have to kind of sit back and go look at all the things that I do have, and I'm the sort of lucky kind of very privileged position that I'm kind of in. And I think you do have to kind of take that in and go, look how much harder this is for a lot of people. And I think obviously you don't want to sit there and kind of feel sorry for yourself and be kind of like, it's really difficult taking all this information in. That's definitely not what I'm saying at all, because I definitely don't think that is the case. But I think there are points where you do have to kind of go, okay, I'm going to have a minute here. Yeah, but also I think you're right. There's definitely people are affected by different things in different ways, some more than others. But ultimately, we're all human beings, and what we're not programmed to do is to have all of this overwhelming amounts of information that we have access to now. Like social media is a great thing for the sense that we can educate ourselves and share messages and stories much quicker, but also it comes with that it can be incredibly overwhelming at times, and we're not necessarily built to deal with that. Definitely taking a step back from socials. Like I've been having sporadic moments where I'll delete Instagram for a day or even for 24 hours. Honestly, like it makes such a difference. It's so mad how much of a difference it makes. Just to turn off for a little bit. I mean that must be quite an unusual one for yourself as well, obviously working in a very digital field. Yeah, exactly. So it is, but sometimes you just, especially on the weekend, it's like, okay, I don't need to be on it as much over the weekend. If there's something that I desperately need to post, then I can do that and then delete afterwards. It's not like, because I know what I'm like anyway. I just end up aimlessly scrolling for hours and then time's wasted anyway. So it is good to just switch off for a bit. And it's mad how much of an effect it does have just deleting an app for a bit. You feel like you've almost locked off like a whole part of your brain that, is like a whole part of your world. Yeah. Especially now, because let's be real, and especially during the current lockdown situation, we've been obviously taking in more social stuff than ever before. We've been taking in more information than ever before. So obviously the culmination of all these different events and happenings and movements and genuine changes for good. Or at least attempting to change things for good means that, as you said before, it is almost like a bit of an overload sometimes. So I can fully understand the idea of kind of deleting apps or like removing yourself from certain social platforms for certain amounts of time. And then obviously you've got to find the balance of that with aligning it with work, especially in digital or media, which are most of the time now near enough entirely social media based. So yeah, it's an interesting conversation. It's one I wanted to have with you purely because I know it's something that you're you talk very strongly on, and it's something that you're very mindful of, both as a person and as sort of within yourself emotionally. So thank you for coming on. Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure to make my day you on the Cub Cam.
There we
TV.
go. Well, I'm sure.
And I'll wait for my invite to come back and do a review video with you, a reaction video.
I was going to say, as soon as well, it's being called hashtag all this by a few people. So as soon as hashtag all of this is over, I am going to look to try and get a few guests in for guest reaction videos. Like I'm definitely doing one with Miles Burrell, so that'll be entertaining. And then yeah, definitely let's collab, man. Let's collab.
I'm so on that.
There we
know
go.
Me.
All right, then. We're going to finish up there. We're going to finish up with another tune that you sent over. This one goes by the name of Pose for a Picture. And I believe it's by Nike featuring Keep Vibes Near. Talk to me about this one. Why is this one in the selection?
So this is, so recently, as I said, I've been picking up my writing and stuff like that again. I did a little review of this guy Nike's album, and Keep Vibes Near is a kind of alternative R&B artist as well that I know from London. And yeah, I wanted to review his project for my friend's blog, music blog, which is a couple of friends from MTV have started up their own music blog called Euphony. So they invited me on to be a guest writer, and I reviewed the project and then did a little interview with him. And I just think he's super talented. Like he's from London, North London, Edmonton, but he's been living in America for like the last 7 years or so. And yeah, it was just an example of like a new artist to the market putting out something that could have been someone that's been established in the game for years with a whole team behind them, all sorts of budgets. So I just love to see that when someone who's really young and doing things completely on their own is still able to put out that level of project from all aspects. So yeah, I just thought this is a fun one with them too. It's a bit more of a dancey sing-along vibe, but the project is amazing, so go check it out. It's called Orange, the whole album, by Nike, Naike.
Amazing stuff. Well, Ellie, thank you for jumping on the line. I'm sure we'll see you on the channel again very soon, whether it be reaction, whether it be online review or something along those lines. I'm sure you'll be back very soon. We'll speak soon, and yeah, we're going to finish up with this one, guys. This one goes by the name of Pose for a Picture, Nike featuring Keep Vibes Near. We'll be back same time tomorrow morning. We're going to be joined by Kajama and Rico Tubbs, looking at bass music worldwide, and of course the sort of lack of live music in the UK and how that's affecting people at the moment. We'll be back same time tomorrow. We have got another reaction video dropping this evening, so keep locked on the channel. If it's your first time locking in, please do hit that subscribe button, as you can see below. There you go, the button is there. Quick word from our sponsors. Out to Sharp and Digital. As I said before, they've played a big part in helping this channel grow, helping me out with SEO and tagging and things like that. Social media experts, and as you can see, they are the alternative to hiring social media managers. Really cool addition to the team. So yeah, they are our official sponsors, so go check them out. As I said before as well, you can check out the podcast via Spotify, Apple Music and SoundCloud. We cut all the music out so you can just listen directly. And yeah, we will see you next time. Don't go anywhere, guys. We're going to leave you with this one. Peace.
Post for a picture. Said she wanna make me a Pose for a picture. I can tell that she bad from her Insta. Said she wanna make me a mister. Don't worry if it's broke, I'ma fix her. Don't worry if it's broke, I'ma fix her. You ain't got a tool, chat or whisper. You've said a lot that you can't rewind. Now it's your time while you're acting shy.
Sweet lady, I'm trying to get a taste. I see her on the gram cause she's very bait. Always in the fits that make you feel some type of way. Let me double tap and see if she won't ride this wave. Talking really freaky in the DM, she can hold a cane. Went to Ivy League, I know she's definitely got the brains. She ain't even in my league, bro, I've been setting pace. That's why all these narcissistic girls gotta play these games. Trust me, I'm self-validated, no bird chasing. I'm wholesome, no lie. These internet girls got me shook for a wife, and that's why you can never catch me belling off a line. Putting on the front, attention seeking for some guys. They only want to hit and you've been charting for some time. 20/20 vision, seeing all them signs. That's red flags, but we can put them to the side.
Pose for a picture. I can tell that she bad from her Insta. Said she wanna make me a mister. Don't worry if it's broke, I'ma fix her. Don't worry if it's broke, I'ma fix her. You ain't got a tool, chat or whisper. You've said a lot that you can't rewind. Now it's your time while you're acting. I thought you were gas for the moment, like scissor on the weekend. Baby, don't tell me that was pretend. It's time to dive straight in the deep end. We ain't got to talk about the past tense, but tell me where all that talk went. You could've fooled me from the caption. Oh shit, how did that happen?
How did that happen? That's a sticky one. I keep the vibes near me, but she's effed up. Never catch us out in public, that's a slip up. Cause I know the CRB's coming too mad. Gotta be a boss, gotta be a freak. Top tier garms got you looking steezy. I knew from the go you couldn't wait to see me. But now you're moving kinda shy, you could've fooled me.
Pose for a picture. I can tell that she bad from her Insta. Said she wanna make me a mister. Don't worry if it's broke, I'ma fix her. Don't worry if it's broke, I'ma fix her. You ain't got to chat or whisper. You've said a lot that you can't rewind. Now it's your time while you're acting shy.